Hey everyone, I'm Nick, and I'm having a midlife crisis at the age of 22.
And I'm his mundane, personality-less best friend.
And welcome back to another episode of All We Can Say.
The show where not really much happens.
Not much changes.
Okay, it's just because recently I feel like we've been a little...
It's like life has been like kind of blah recently. It's like the same old shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like... Also, another thing for me is like last weekend was Halloween weekend, as you guys know. And like, after that, I'm like, what do I do now? Like, it was so fun because I was like able to like set up my costumes.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to the weekend. We went out, we had so much fun. And then now I'm back into this whole school thing, and it just reminds me like, I really just wake up, go to school, go to work, come home, like repeat. Like my day, I just feel like another cog in the machine. My day just feels like it's the same thing every single day.
I'm feeling similarly.
Yeah, like there's not really much to look forward to.
No.
And then it's like when you try to make plans and try to make things to look forward to, I'm so glad we're staying consistent with this.
Yeah.
Because it's like something that we can look forward to every single week and
we're
just
not
have
really
something
the most
to
consistent
do.
people.
We're really not. But staying consistent with it is good, but it's also like, just when trying to make plans and stuff, it's like, oh, I have work this day, oh, I have work this day, oh, I have class in the morning here, and then I have
So
work
you gotta figure that
afterwards. So it's
out.
like there's a 2-hour barrier. Like, it's like, damn, has anybody else been feeling this? Because I just been feeling like every day is just kind of the same.
Is this what like seasonal depression is? Like, is this the start of that?
If it's hitting right now, and it's like November 1st.
I'm scared for us.
Oh my god, we need to hide, we need to go, we need to run, because we have like 6 months of winter left over.
But at least it's kind of bearable. It's kind of bearable until like New Year's passes, I feel.
True, I was just saying this earlier, like, I love Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
I love the holidays, I love being excited for it, I love getting ready, Thanksgiving, you know, gift opening and all that, and Christmas music. I was literally listening to Christmas music today. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, he drove up to my house.
Blasting Santa Baby by Taylor Swift. I was trying to think, was it the original? No, it was by Taylor Swift, as you should. But after like, come December 31st, a couple days after Christmas, when like the happiness of all that settles, and I'm like, wait.
I'm sorry for all the
winter right
bitches born January to March.
Yeah, I'm me.
Yeah,
Bitches.
it's a depressing.
Bitches
it's
is
a
right
time.
here. Like,
it's a depressing time.
Yeah, and I'm honestly like
wow.
It's like and then it's like it's nice when the snow falls, but then why the next day it's like brown, mushy, like
grossness.
I wouldn't say I'm on a walkable campus, but I walk to my classes because we have little shuttle buses, and there's like one that comes around every 15 minutes. So unless I want to like go super early, like I'm gonna have to walk in the winter. Like the next like January to March, like we might have to just put the podcast on hold for a little bit, because I will be having seasonal depression the most those months. So watch out. Like, we never know what can happen.
We never know.
And then it's like you can't do nothing outside. I'm not jumping in a tube and going down a hill. I'm sorry.
Right? Like, what is that about?
Yeah, it's just like, no, I'll have to skip on it. We did last year. One of the things, core memories I would say that we had, is we went to Boston.
Oh.
And we went to the Museum of Fine Arts.
Yeah, that was an amazing time.
It was so fun. And like, we've talked about this, if you guys have seen the other episodes, we are both like people who really appreciate art.
Yeah.
And so like, for us, it was just like an amazing time to like appreciate art, and like it was also something that we did like in the winter. I think it was right after Christmas, right?
I think it literally might have been
like a couple days after Christmas.
It might have been the 31st.
I think it was the 31st too. I don't know
because
why.
Because I have like a picture of like the ticket from like the tea.
Oh, true. And it was that day.
Yeah.
Also, if you haven't seen my Instagram pictures that I posted on that, go look at my Instagram, because they were really cute. We took such aesthetic photos, and we just like were living in the art, and it was inspiring us. I think we need to go back.
I think we do.
Like next week or something.
Yeah.
To just give us some sort of juice, some sort of life.
Something shit, bitch. Like
right now, I'm like. Also, like, I won't go too into the school topic, but it's just really killing me, because this has to be like an entertaining, like, I want you guys to be able to go home, turn on this podcast, and like
be entertained
and not have to think about school. So we'll just go away from that. But what I was gonna say is that Halloween was amazing. It was great, but it made me think of something and kind of like a topic that I wanted to talk about in this podcast, which is just like growing up as a gay man.
Yeah.
Because we've touched on this before, but we wanted to like sit down and do an actual topic, an actual episode where we like go into it and kind of like share all of our
How far do you want
experiences.
to go?
We'll
From the beginning?
Yeah, sure.
From
We
the
can
top?
really go. We can take it from the top. But I was gonna say I need to mention like how I got to this theory.
Ooh.
So Halloween comes, and all three of my costumes are on my Instagram. By the way, if you haven't seen them, I was a cowboy,
Cupid.
Barbie Ken, and Cupid. Now, come Cupid Day, which is Saturday, it's the most busy night at the bar. Because if you don't know, the college I go to is kind of like a bar college. Like all the frats are gross here. It's nothing like big houses and everything. Because it's more like a city vibe. But anyway, so everyone goes to the bars. Saturday's the biggest day. I'm like, I'm going to wear my Cupid. It's the cutest.
Mm-hmm.
But if you've seen the pictures, I have like bows on the back of my Cupid wings. And they're like red bows. And I was wearing a tank top with a heart necklace. Like, it was very more feminine, more cutesy. And I was nervous going into this weekend because I was like, I do not want to get hate crimed. I don't want people to try to start shit with me because it happens when I'm wearing normal clothes. Like, I could wear a t-shirt and like a baggy t-shirt and a pair of jeans and people will try and start shit with me. I'm not kidding. And so the one thing that did happen, which I kind of saw this coming, even though this is so sad that we, as gay people, we have to like, this is still a thing. I went into the bathroom, and I hate going to the bathroom, but it's like, you're drinking, the liquids are flowing.
Yeah.
Like, run me in that bathroom. And I'm sitting there washing my hands. I don't look up. I don't look them in the eyes. I'm saying them because it's a community that I just do not want to address right now. So, I don't look it in the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I walk in there, I'm washing my hands. I see it walk behind me.
Okay.
And this man goes, it smells like the F word in here.
Oh.
Yeah. Like
Really?
fully, yep. And damn straight walked past me like I know he saw the wings. Like, it was so obvious that it was. And before I used to like rebel against this and I used to try and like be like, what'd you say? What'd you say? Because I'm gonna stand my ground. But it's like, it ruins the whole night.
Yeah.
No matter what happens, good is never gonna come from it. Like, I can defend myself all I want, but it ruins the night.
Yeah.
And so I just ignore it now. And so I just ignored it and I went on with my night. And that's just my reality. Which is why I like thought of this whole topic about talking about like our experience as gay people. Because it's like, this shit still goes on. Like, it still goes on and I wanted to talk about that.
I would love an insight into their mind now. Like, we're talking about gay people, but I would love an insight to the mind of like the straight man who like feels the need to say that. Like, are you just feeling like a big like asshole? Like, you should like get no pussy, like something happened to you where you feel like just like slighted and wronged and there's
Right.
like some anger and you need to release it. Like, what happened to you to like want to ruin someone else's night? Like, maybe work on that because like I feel like men just don't work on themselves as much as women do.
See, I'm the opposite. I don't want to get into their minds. Like, I don't need to.
I don't
know.
want to like have a conversation with it, but like.
But no,
Can you
it's
just
true.
like what's like the like you really like are like, oh, I really want to be an asshole right now? Is that like
Yeah.
the thoughts like that you like think?
No,
I don't
'cause-
know.
and I've thought of this, like, even if I hate somebody and I see somebody and I'm like, oh, they're gross, like, whether they did something to me, like, I am never gonna say shit out loud to them
Like, what's
in
the
an aggressive,
point?
like,
What's the point of it?
I'm never gonna, like, I'm just like, who really, like, goes about their day and just thinks that it's, like, okay to say that shit?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I just would never, no matter who it is, like, I just ignore and go. If I don't like the person, I ignore and go. For somebody not to know me at all in the slightest bit and just to say something like that because it was, like, on their mind, it's just like, how, as a person, how do you do that?
Yeah,
Where are your morals? What have your parents taught you?
yeah.
Like, not how I was raised.
Mhm.
But it's like, shit like that happens all the time
Yeah.
with me. Like, it's crazy because, like, every time, I'm not gonna say every time I go out, but I'll say once every 3 weekends maybe, something will happen. Whether it's somebody saying a slur or, like, even, like, I'll be walking through a crowd and somebody's, like, trying to stop me from walking for no reason at all, like, and just, like, looking like he's trying to fight me, like trying to pick a fight. I'm like, what did I do to you?
Yeah, like what is the purpose? Like, it's like to feel big because they feel small. Like,
Right.
I feel like society has this thing where like they build like men up to like be this thing.
Yeah.
And like when a man feels like they're not that thing,
Right.
their egos are very fragile. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's just like, it always is coming from someone who's like, who kind of subscribes to this like, this societal expectation of what being a man is, and when they feel like they're not meeting it, it's too much for them, it's frustrating for them. Which I would love for that to be like my biggest problem in life.
Mm-hmm.
I would
True.
love for that to be my
No,
biggest
exactly. I would
problem.
love that too. But also, I was thinking that like, and if you're at home and your man is slightly like homophobic, which I know you're not, because nobody watching this is gonna whatever,
Right.
or he's made comments, it's like, I always think about this, it's that like homophobia and like misogyny are tied together.
Mhm.
Because when you think about it, like people who are homophobic, why are they homophobic? It's mostly men who are like these masculine men who see like a feminine man as like weak and wrong.
Yeah.
So it's like tying femininity with being like weak and like there's something wrong with that, being weak or being feminine. It's like there's misogyny is tied into that too.
Yeah.
So it's like these girls who like let their men like do this shit, or
I
even if they're
know.
laughing, like there's so many times where, like I said in the other podcast, where like I'll walk past like a group of guys and they'll be laughing at
And
me and the
they'll-
girls right there.
but
It's
they'll
like,
be
don't
saying
you
they're like-
see this?
But they'll like use the excuse, like, and this is like the excuse with like that those are the same ones whose like white boyfriend says the N-word and things like that. You know what I
Right.
mean? But they'll use the excuse, well, I'm not his mother. Well, it says something about you.
It
It
as
says
a
something
person.
about your morals. That someone that you're dating says those things and you can just sit there and be okay with it. It says
Right.
something about your morals.
Right.
That it's not that he's your mother, it's that someone you will publicly tie yourself to a person like that. That objectified, like that puts your morals into question.
True.
And there's no argument for that.
No, completely. And that goes for like anything, like homophobia, racism, especially. Like if I even hear that in like a group of people that I'm like, I don't really know them, like I am removing myself from that situation.
Mhm.
You're disgusting. You are disgusting. Like
Yeah.
to just say that shit and think that's okay. And that's why like when people are like talking about something, they'll be like, oh, that's gay. Like I've literally had people who at like work or whatever who genuinely like aren't probably homophobic, and they're just like they just think that's okay because they hear it from their friends. It's like, no, even like those little like microaggressions of like, oh, that's gay, like that shit is what leads to other people feeling like it's okay to be saying the N-word as long as they're not saying it to somebody, or saying you know, homophobic slur as long as they're not saying it to somebody.
Mhm.
It's like, and that's why we just need to stop fucking doing that shit, where it's like allowing that shit and saying that that shit's okay, because it's like, it's really not.
And people will be like, oh, like we can't say anything these days. Like you can absolutely say shit.
You can
like
say-
you're just
Right.
upset because like you don't have a group or like something like that you can make fun of because that's what you do for fun.
Right,
That's your
right.
idea of fun.
No,
Tearing
yeah.
other people down.
Exactly.
Like I just don't really get it. It's kind of a toxic mindset, and I think it's frankly for stupid people. So maybe
Sure.
that's why I don't get it. But
I think it's the people who are saying like, oh, we can't make jokes anymore. If you can't make a joke that's not offensive, you're just not funny. How about that?
Yeah, because that's just like
Like-
it's kind of the most basic form
I
of
hate
humor.
that argument.
It's kind of the most basic form of humor if you think about it, because everything like racist, homophobic, sexist, like that you say, like something like that, it's shock humor. It's always shock humor. Like it's always regardless of the scenario, it's shock humor.
Right.
It's something crazy that like people wouldn't agree with today for the sake of like gaining a reaction from someone. If you're not clever enough to like make any other type of joke, if you're not witty enough, if you don't have that, you can just like say that. You can just admit it.
Right, you can just admit you're not funny.
Yeah.
Like, just say you're not funny.
Yeah.
Fuck, it's that easy. Like, shit. Like, shit.
Yeah.
Crack me a joke that's not offensive.
You know, believe it
We're
or
getting a
not,
little passionate over here.
I
Sorry,
know.
let me take a sip of water.
believe it or not, I feel like a lot of people might not know at first glance that I'm gay.
Oh, yeah, this is true. Let's talk about that a little bit. Like, how has that
Well-
changed your experiences?
I feel like I
Yeah.
haven't had as many like homophobic remarks said towards me, but I feel like, I don't know, you know, just the other day, this is crazy. I was at work and there was this kid. I say kid because he's like 16.
True, kid.
And he's like talking about like his girlfriend or whatever, and then he asked me like something like, about girls or if I'm with a girl or something like that. And I was like, no. I just said no. I kind of left it at that.
Yeah.
Part of me was like, why didn't I like say more? But like, who cares?
I think at the counter maybe that's not like,
yeah.
like I don't know if this kid needs to be hearing this. Because
Right.
even like if my like little nieces and nephews who are super young ask me that, I'm not gonna be like, I am gay. Gay means, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I would, but like that just I didn't really care to in that moment.
Right, and there would be
Actually,
nothing wrong
like,
with it.
Yeah,
It's just
there's no, I don't know. Nobody's owed an explanation.
nobody knows. Yeah, and also sometimes it's more effort to explain than to just be like, no, I don't have a
And
girlfriend.
then they'll go through, oh really? Like whatever, they'll like look at me for a second, like you know what I mean? Like that's like how I feel like when I've told people that didn't know, like they kind of like look at me and they're like analyzing, they're like, so this isn't gay, like the shoes aren't gay. Like what's
Right.
gay? What's gay? Like what? Like something has to, like you know, maybe my
What's
voice.
the
I don't
telltale
know.
sign? Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've kind of avoided a lot of like maybe and like worse end of the bullying. I think I've still experienced some, but I've definitely like no, I don't know, like, and maybe like they're straight guys are like they haven't really been like rude to me outrightly. Maybe
Right.
they like
'cause I
kind of
remember you
use
saying
me. Yeah.
that straight guys are more like when straight men talk to me, like unless they're chill and they're whatever, like if I kind of know they're a little homophobic, they're more like it's more like negative, harsh, like offensive shit that they're saying. But for you, it's more what would you say?
I don't know, like they just maybe like they won't like talk to me, like they won't like they'll just kind of ignore me, or like not like ignore me, like just not talk to me, but like they'll keep it short and brief with me.
Right.
Like, and that's kind of how it is. They don't really say shit to me.
Right. I also think like the mask, like because you can't tell, I guess, that you're feminine. I mean that you're like gay. I think the masculinity is like they're kind of more okay with that. You know what I mean? They're more accepting of like the gay guys who are masculine, who are more broy, I guess, looking. But when it comes to like somebody who's more feminine,
They can't handle it.
Even like going about my life, like I feel like I've gotten much better. In high school and stuff, I was more like you know what I mean? Like avoiding every straight man I see. Like now I'm confident. I walk into a room and I don't let that shit like hold me back. Like, ooh, is this gonna be like, you know what I mean? But even with that and being confident and stuff, and I think that like also attracts more of that negative energy, the fact that I'm so confident with it and like I'm like who cares with it, I feel like that also attracts negative energy for me. It just makes them want to say some shit.
You know
always.
what?
But I am scared half the time when I go into
it is scary.
If there's like
It's scary.
a lot of men and like not very many women in a space, I'm petrified.
I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
At the very least.
At the very least,
I'm
uncomfortable, and I want to leave the situation.
Yeah.
So it's like I have to be very, you know, kind of on edge.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like my high school experience with it, while there was like some, I feel like for me it was more middle school if there was anything, but also there was some in the beginning of high school. I don't know, I just don't feel like there was a ton for me, but one thing there was a lot of like they'd use me like to ask a million questions. When did you know you were gay? So this like, are you like gay? Like, do you think you're like 100% gay? Like this and that. Like, so like, what do you do in this? And then what do you do in that? Like, just asking me like these questions about it. Like, like I'm like the Wikipedia page, which is great. I love that you're coming into it from a non-hostile point. That's more than a lot of men could say. But also like, I'm not the Wikipedia for
gay people.
Yeah.
Guess at least those straight men are like trying to educate themselves.
Yeah.
It's more like maybe they don't understand, but they're trying to educate that, and that will take then like the outward like homophobic, you know.
Like I don't know. Have you ever had any of those conversations? Because I feel like I've had them, especially like in the class that we shared. Like the Like I feel like people asked me things, but I don't know if they asked you.
No, I don't think I was ever asked. There was one guy who definitely wanted to experiment with me, and he asked me those questions, but you could tell there was like more of an intention that like he kind of wanted to try some stuff out, which I'm not into, by the way. Like I'm not trying to do that with you, with any straight man, by the way. But like I think most of the time they just don't speak to me, or they're just offensive and rude and hostile. But like that, this doesn't go for all straight men. Like, I give every straight man, like I know I'm on this podcast, I'm always hating on men. Like that's my personality on this podcast because lately that's how I've been feeling. But like, I don't walk into a room and like, fuck, I hate you, I'm gonna ignore you. Like I talk to them like a normal human should talk to people. Like I always like, I'm optimistic with anybody who I talk to. I'm never gonna judge them based on the way they look. I always like try and, if they give me weird vibes, then I'll like kind of like move myself over a little bit and just try and give some distance. But I'm not like walking in with like thoughts about who they are and stuff like that. Like I try and give them like a fair,
absolutely every time. And these like feelings of like being uncomfortable and stuff like that, like they're like a byproduct of like experiences we've had. Like we've had so many of these experiences in the past. That's why we feel that way. Like when we're kind of like a little bit uncomfortable. But that's not to say that we won't give them a fair chance and talk to them like they're people.
Right, because that's what we want at the end of the day. I feel like a lot of people can relate to that too, because that's kind of just like, that's what we want. Like, just give us that. Because nothing about me like is like what am I gonna do to you by being gay? Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm a normal person. You can have normal conversations. Every straight man tends to think that I want to fuck them.
Yeah.
Bro, like you're not my type. like every time, like, and I think I've talked about this in the other podcast about like the straight guys that
That's another question they'll ask me.
What?
They're like, so what's your type? Am I your type? Why is that the question?
Why is that? That's fruity vibes.
That's weird.
That's like, fruity vibes.
That's weird.
But like, a lot of the straight men that I'm like, that in the past that I've like spent more time around, they tend to develop this like idea that I want to fuck them or like I like them. When like I'm just being friendly and nice. But that goes for like any girl. Like if a girl's like friendly and nice to a man, like he thinks she wanna fuck. I'm like, damn, maybe we're just trying to have a good conversation with you.
Yeah.
But let's throw it back to like, when did you find out Oh, okay, go ahead.
But also I feel like we're both gay people. We're never gonna do anything. We're friends. Like we're able to be friends. So why is it
that's so difficult?
Maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's a different dynamic. Maybe it's something we don't understand because we're on the outskirts of.
Right.
Tell us in the comments. They're gonna get some interaction going.
Not a single straight man is gonna be in this video, like commenting.
You don't think?
I don't think so. Maybe. Good for them, they're learning.
Yeah, good for you.
Different experiences. Maybe if you have a boyfriend, have him watch this too.
Yeah,
like
educational viewing.
Yeah.
Mandatory educational viewing.
Yeah, for sure. But as I was gonna say before, when did you first find out that you were gay?
The moment I like hit puberty, 7th grade. The moment I hit puberty, I was like, oh, I like men. And like,
was it like a trigger for it?
No, it was just like it happened one day. Like I don't remember when it happened. It happened one day. It was like on, and I never like before that I like had no inkling that I was. I was definitely like a little. Like
a little feminine step in his walk,
you know?
Yeah.
A little flamboyant, but no, it just kind of happened one day, and like I don't even remember, like the crazy thing is I don't remember like knowing the word gay or what it meant when I was a kid, but by the time like I went through puberty and realized it, that one day that it happened, like where I was like, oh, okay. Like I just knew the vocabulary, I knew I was like, I like boys, I'm gay, you know?
Right. For me, it was a little bit different. I always like grew up playing with like Monster High dolls, and I had siblings who were always like, are you gay, are you gay? And I was always like, I never thought about it, and I always just, like, I thought girls were pretty, so I was just like, thought I liked girls. And so, but I would always like play with like Monster High dolls, that was my thing, because Barbies, it was like, that was it for girls. Like, the Monster High dolls for me were like, oh, I can play with Monster High dolls because I can say they're cool. Like, this one's Frankenstein's daughter, this one's like, have you ever played Monster High dolls?
No, but I did play with like, you know those little pet shop things?
Yeah, the pet shop.
And you know what?
That. Yeah.
My mom bought me those.
Oh, really? So my mom did too.
But she was shocked when I told her. She was gagged.
Yeah, but my mom too, she was like so about buying me like these Monster High dolls that I really wanted. And like, I just remember like, I was growing up and like, I think in middle school or something, I wanted to wear skinny jeans because I liked the fact that they were hugging my legs. And to other people, it was like weird, but to me, I just liked the feeling of like that security of the fabric hugging my legs, and I never thought anything of it. I didn't think that made me like gay or whatever. And then I always like was told I was gay, so I shoved it down. I think I shoved it down for so many years to where I like didn't think about it. Come freshman year of high school, the summer of freshman year, like going into high school, I remember struggling a lot, like with the thoughts of being like, oh, am I gay? And I got to high school, and I remember this kid. I will never forget his name, and I won't say it. But should I say it? Well, I won't say the last name.
Okay.
Or no, I shouldn't say it at all.
Probably not.
Probably not, yeah. So, I remember this kid, and I thought he had, like, really cool style. Like, I kept telling myself, oh, I just keep staring at him because he has cool style. Which, looking back at it, fuck, he did not. He did not have good style. But for his time, he was doing good.
Okay,
so, like, I just remember saying, like, oh, he has nice style, and I kept staring at him, and I would keep staring at him. I'd always keep looking at him, kept staring at him. And then I would go home and I would be like, why? Like, and I kind of knew in the back of my head that I had a crush on him. But, like, I was fighting so hard with, like, the thought of, like, I can't be gay. It just can't be. Because everyone in my whole life has told me they can't be right. Mm-hmm. They can't have that, like, one-up over me that they were right. Mm-hmm. And then at a point, I got so defeated where I was like, I just can't go every day, like, feeling like this. Where I'm, like, lying to myself. So I was like, I'm gay. Like, I knew it, and I didn't even come out until, like, junior year of high school, but everybody knew. I mean, everybody knew. But I just, yeah, I think, like, and this is, like, another reason why I'm, like, stop, like, questioning people on this type of shit.
Yeah.
Let them just figure it out and tell them when they're comfortable to tell you, because for me, it's, like, I felt like I had to just hide it for so long because I didn't want people to be like, oh, I was right, we knew, like, and that's kind of what they were like when I told them. Not so much my parents, but, like, friends and whatever. It's like they were more like, oh, like, we already knew. And I'm like, that's just annoying because it's like, okay, like, I'm just trying to tell you something about me. And, like, you know? So that's when I found out that I was gay. However, I had been bullied my entire life. Like, from 3rd grade to senior year of high school, and Nick has experienced this, I was bullied for being gay.
Yeah.
Like, and one of the times, the most traumatizing stories that I have is I was in freshman year, and this is like just after I like kind of figured it out. I had swim class. Fuck swim class. Did you do swim class?
Yeah.
You did? Oh my god, I hated it.
I hated it.
Also, in high school, like, everybody's insecure about their bodies. Can we not do swim class?
Yeah.
And I remember just, like, hating it, and I wore a t-shirt, and I was like, why am I getting in this water? I tried to get a doctor's note. Like, I tried so much to try and, like, get out of it, you know? And so, I go to swim class, and there's this kid there who had been bullying me. And we go in the locker room, and, like, we're getting changed. And for some odd reason, I had completely gotten undressed, and I was putting my shirt on first. It was, like, the first thing that was on top of my bag. And I remember, like, as I was putting the shirt, like, over my head, the curtain of the stall that I was in had been pushed open by this kid. And, like, so I, like, quickly grabbed it and shut it. And then I went to my guidance counselor, and I told her, and I had so many meetings about this where I, like, went to her and I cried. And I eventually got out of swim class, but she made me feel like I was trying to make myself the victim and that I was, like, hiding something. Like, she kept saying to me, and this is when I wasn't out to everybody, she kept saying, like, do you think maybe you're thinking that this happened, like, he did this on purpose because you're feeling some type of way? Like, trying to hint at the fact that I was gay. Like, trying to say that the curtain might have accidentally been pushed open, fully pushed open, to the point where it slammed and I could see him running off. She was like, do you think that, like, this could have happened because you're feeling, like, some things deep down? I was like, this has nothing to do with that, first of all. And I was like, no, I just kept denying it to her.
And also, that has nothing to do with that.
Right.
And second of all, what would happen if there was something to do with that?
Right.
What would happen?
If I was a gay man, like what would that change?
What would it change? So it's okay, like, oh, it's just boys being boys.
Yeah, and then she first of all, I told her, I do not want this to, like, I don't want you to, like, confront this kid because I didn't want it to get around that this had happened to me because it was so traumatizing to me. She was like, I have to talk to the kid about it now that you reported it. Talks to the kid. She interviews somebody in the class who I know saw me naked. And the kid says he didn't do it. So that's also what gave her like the inclination that like I was just making this story up.
Oh my god.
So I always say this, like when I'm like going to my high school reunion, if I do, I don't think I will, but if I do, I'm gonna tell her like you were the worst guidance counselor I've ever had. I'm gonna tell her like you're just horrible.
What is with like the invalidation of your feelings? Like I thought you were supposed to be a helpful figure. I thought like, that was what you were in it for.
Yeah,
but ultimately they don't. Like we kind of went to a shitty high school though.
Yeah, we did go to a shitty high school.
We went to a really shitty high school,
and it wasn't even like it was just shitty people.
It was shitty people.
It wasn't like a bad area. It wasn't like a
shitty staff, shitty people. Shitty
yeah.
There was this isn't as bad as this. There was this one time. This is like my first experience with it. This one time I was in my English class in freshman year, and like there is this group of people who are friends in the class, and they were like saying things to me, like they were trying to call me over, and then they were acting like they didn't, and they were like kind of laughing under their breath, and then they said something to me. I forget what they said, but like it like was like making me out to be like this like weird non-person thing, you know what I mean, that they're trying to interact with. So I kind of just like felt like very like icked out by that. I was like, I want to go home. Like I remember the first like I'm like feeling I was like I don't want to be here, like I can't be, like I'm gonna freak out right now. But that was that. I think it was because I was gay that they were doing it. They were just kind of assholes though.
Everyone at our school sucked.
Yeah.
They did. Like, it was also one of those schools where people come from every town, so we got like the fucking shittiest people from every town. Yeah. And it was like, it was a trade school, so it was like, not only did all the shit people, it's a trade school, so it's like these people are fucking stupid.
Yeah, they are fucking stupid.
Yeah, and like they're here for like construction and electrical, so it's like they're like literally tapped because they're just dumb. And it's like, and then you have them like in this environment where it's like, it just was so toxic, and I hated my, like, high school was so bad for me for so long, and like I feel like senior year was good, but then I thought about this the other day. Why was it good is because we were the COVID babies. Like we didn't have school for like we started school, we had a few cute months, and then we had like half the school year off.
And it was the beginning of COVID, so I didn't know what the fuck they were doing. So it was there was really no work.
It was like
involved.
one worksheet a week, and we were like okay, yes, give me that worksheet, and we were just gaming. Like it was the time of my life. Like I'm not even kidding. So that's why I enjoyed it so much.
COVID nostalgia, really.
Yeah, and we didn't go to prom. We didn't do any of that, and I'm glad. Like I'm so glad we did.
There was a prom. It was like a drive-by. Like you drove in, you were in your outfit. You didn't come out of your car. You just drove by in your car.
It was so weird. We don't know about it though, because we didn't go.
The one thing I'm kind of sad about though is when we like graduated, we like graduated only with our shop. Sorry to all those in my shop, I guess, but I'm not really close or friends with them.
Yeah.
So
true.
Didn't get to say goodbye to like people I knew.
Right.
That I'd like to say that I would have liked to say goodbye to.
Right. There was nobody I wanted to say goodbye to. You were the only one.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey.
Nobody else.
Still here.
Yeah, there you go. Like, even then, I kind of like, I know when people are right for me, you know? Like, I'm really good, and I've always said this, I'm really good at being like, oh, this is a good friend. This is somebody I should keep in my life. This is somebody I shouldn't. Like, I've always just found good relationships.
Yeah.
And, like, I feel like I've always had long, like, healthy, good relationships with people, which is good. You know?
Yeah, it's good.
But also, high school time was the time of, like, let's say Grindr.
Sure.
I don't even want to talk about her.
I don't want to
She's so scary. She's such a scary place. We didn't really use Grindr that much, I will say. I never hooked up with anybody on Grindr. It was Grindr just in general, so scary.
Yeah, scary.
Like, vetted scary. The fact that you can, like, go on there and, like, as a gay man, like, there's not really, like, many gay people that you know at your school. So, like, in high school, when you're trying to, like... True. So, where we live. But in high school, like, when you don't know anybody who's gay, then there's this app that you hear about online or whatever. And you go on it, it's like blank profiles, and everybody's like, come over now. It's like, it's so weird. Like, I just think that, like, why does the gay community have this app?
Yeah.
I think it should be disbanded. I'm glad I never went through with any of this shit. I think it should just be, like, we should not have Grindr at all. Like the fact that like it's so transactional.
It's kind of like toxic in the way that like it's like a lot of kids like will go on it like in high school who like want like some like, oh, I want to talk to people like me, but it's really all it is just sex, and kind of pulls them into that cycle.
Yeah.
And it's really made by people. It's made by suppressed people, and it continues to cycle for suppressed people a lot of the time. I feel like there are cases where people are just completely open and use it and can have a healthy relationship with it, but I find that's like usually like in their adult life. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think like this app is like,
at least from what I've seen.
Right. I think this app is fine if you're like over the age of 20, you know, and you want to like kind of do that and explore your, you know, sexuality and whatever. What I don't think is good is that like you hear about this at such a young age, and like the age limit is like 18, but it's a click of a button to be like, I'm 18. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's like you're a young impressionable child who like, this is like your first, for most gay people, especially where we came from when we didn't have a lot of other gay people around us or ones that we were attracted to, this is like your first like introduction to like attention from men.
Yeah.
And then it's like so scary because it's like they want you to do all this weird shit that you just kind of want to like, it's like you're this is like the one attention you're getting, so it's like you want to feed into it, and you want to like Troye Sivan's song, you kind of just want to do whatever you need to do to like please this person because you want that attention and feel validated by them. I'm just like, I think it's just like, I think like also it's just human to want like attention in that way. It's just human to. But especially like being in a,
when you're deprived of it, like
when you're deprived of it, like straight people, like you meet each other in school and whatever, like there's so many options, there's a sea of things, and like, but like
you don't see stories of gay people being high school sweethearts.
Right, you don't. Like you just know it's not a thing for you. And obviously like we hope in the future that expands and grows more, but it's like for our experiences it's like you don't see that for yourself. So it's like you try to find all these routes, and I just think like in general that app is like toxic. I'm sure like some people stand by it, but it's also just like so transactional. Like I couldn't imagine like hooking up with somebody, just like somebody that I don't know, like
they're fully like pics, and they'll send you like their gaping asshole, and you'll send them back your dick, and they'll be like, okay, the door's open. The door. Like what?
No, literally, like come over. Like you don't
I'm
need
in
to
the
see their
bedroom.
face. You don't need to know their name.
It's
like
down the hall, past one door to the left.
I'm like, okay.
Sure.
So I'm glad I didn't
love a maze game.
Act on that one, but it's like, and then even now, like now that I'm older, I don't. And the world has like grown so much towards like gay people, you know what I mean? And like accepting it, and you see so many more gay people out and about and couples and stuff. But even now I'm like, it's still a small pool for me. Even being in college, like I feel like I know there's more gay people than I did in my high school, but it's still like a smaller pool. And then you go on like Tinder and like you're trying to find people on there, and because like it's so normalized to have this transactional sexual thing with like men in the gay community, it's like a lot of the people on these apps just want to have a hookup too, and it's like I feel like there's not many gay people that I know that are like looking for something genuine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's kind of frustrating because like I feel like a lot of like even ones that do turn genuine and kind of like make something, I feel like it always has to start with sex for gay people. They're like, you hear a lot of people like, which is great. I'm happy that they found people, and like just that's a win is a win, girl. You know.
At the end of the day.
Like it's like, oh, we started as like a hookup or whatever, and like we were friends with benefits, and it came something where like I don't like, maybe I want like.
Why can't I have the fairy tale story?
Yeah.
Why can't I, or not even that, just like we meet in a class and like we go on a date, and like, and I'm sure that there's people that have had that.
And I'm 100%. Sure there's straight people who go through that too, but like with Grindr and the perpetuation of this, like it's like kind of the perpetuation of that, and like it's like okay, so it's like, you know. And and I feel like with straight people, there's so many more options. Like there's just so many more options. I feel. And because like women are so like please Christian mingle, because women are more like they don't like that hookup shit. Like more women are inclined to not, and it's
it's like straight men they have to kind of go on those first few dates and they have to kind of feel for it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's more normalized in the straight communities to kind of have those first few dates and like, you know, obviously people hook up still, but it's much more easier to find that. I have never found a guy, I've never had a boyfriend.
No, they were.
And I've never found a guy that like wants to like just take me on a date. I mean, some have, but like I've never found a guy that like just wants to like, it's always more like, oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, it's hard to find those guys who are just like, oh, I want to like get to know you. I want to like take you out. Like, want to, you know what I mean? It's so easy for them to be like, let's hook up on the first date and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because like you said, like there's so many relationships where it starts out with sexual, you know, things, and I'm grateful for that, but that's not how I see myself getting into a relationship. I feel like that's like what we have to start with.
I know.
And I get like sexual attraction's like a big thing for in relationships,
Absolutely.
obviously.
And you should be, you know.
But I want to start off with a date. Like I want to get to know you before we're doing,
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like I don't know. I feel like we need to grow.
Culture.
We need to grow with this culture. It's not there yet, and
Yeah.
like I'm sure it'll get there one day. I'm being
I hope it
hopeful,
does.
but get there soon.
Yeah, we're aging.
there
We're
soon.
aging day by
Yes.
day.
Like I needed to start getting quicker
Yeah.
here. So I don't know. Disband Grindr,
Disband Grindr.
Tinder, get better.
Get better. Tinder.
Even like, also like,
I feel like every dating app.
I feel like I was going to say this, like every dating app needs to go, and because I feel like nowadays, the reason why a lot of relationships are like it's hard to get into a relationship just in general, it's because like we're sitting on our phones like swiping through pictures
Yeah.
of like 50 people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like we're seeing, and then we go on Instagram, we're seeing like the most attractive people.
And then, but
It's like-
it's so annoying. And then there's like this like, but then you have to like, from a gay standpoint at least, like there's this aspect of like, okay, well, I'll go to the bars and meet someone, and then they'll have like the interaction that you have and be like, actually, I just want to go home. You know what I mean?
Right. What do you mean?
Like they'll go to the bars, like and be like, oh, maybe I'll find someone like at the bars, like just have, you know, like meet someone there, or something like that, or just any place, and they'll have like an interaction like that guy did when he walked to the bathroom, and
Oh, you're saying like, yeah. when,
like, and then they'll be like, I
you're
just want to go home. Like that's like another
And
aspect.
it's very
of it. It's,
off-putting.
like, why people don't want to go.
True.
Or whatever, but
We need to go clubbing in like Boston.
yeah.
We live close to Boston, which if you don't know Boston, it's like more of a city vibe.
Mm-hmm.
So there are gay clubs. From my experience when I've went to them, like not my favorite vibe, but like it's kind of like nice to just have a community.
Yeah.
It's like when you're like
When you feel like you're in a space that like you belong in.
yeah, and
Yeah.
like every time I go out, I'm like, okay, like there's just straight people, and I'm kind of just I'm there to be with my friends. Like I really don't feel any negative vibes around it. But when I go to a gay club, I'm like, whoa, this is so different. I'm not used to this. Like there's like just a lot of like sense of like community around me,
Yeah.
and that's like cool to feel.
Yeah, it is cool.
And I've literally went to like one or two of them, so we need to go.
We do need to
I think
go.
that's our next step.
Oh yeah.
But it's just difficult because it's like far.
It is difficult.
True. Like
And then it's far, and then we're like, you know, with the thing with like school, work, and the other thing.
there's just no time for us in
That's
this
a fucking
world.
lie. It's a fucking lie.
I was thinking about this earlier today. Like I might just die alone.
I was gonna ask that actually. Like,
What?
are you like comfortable like the fact that like there might not be someone? Like, how comfortable are you with that fact?
I'm such like a lover. Like I love love. I genuinely do, even though I've never been in love. I love love. Like I love the idea of it. I love just like being able to have somebody to go home to. I love going on like especially now like apple picking and like all these things that like I do love it, and I would love to experience that, and I probably will in the future. But perhaps I did die alone, I think I would be happy. Like I feel like I would be happy. Like I'm happy genuinely. I really don't need somebody else. Like I could see myself, I'm such an independent person to begin with. I could see myself growing old by myself. I don't need children either. I feel like a lot of people feel like they have to have children.
I don't want
I could
children.
see, yeah, I don't want children. Bye.
No,
Why? Why are those little things running
It's
around?
like a 90% no for me.
It's like, well, for me it's like 70%. Also, a big thing for like children for me is like, if I do get married, I'm gonna say when because I'm manifesting it for myself. When I do get married, if my husband wants them, that's kind of gonna be the ruling decision. Because for me, like, I'm okay with not. Sometimes I see a little girl with a bow in her hair and I want to have like a little girl, yes. But like, if my husband is really pushing for it, I would be much more like considering of it. I'm sure like when I'm 35, like, and aging and don't really, you know, I'm like
I can't
established
say,
myself. You know,
I can't say where I'll be in even 10 years, like when I'll be considering that. But it's just from the point like I don't like feel like I can, like in an adequate way. Like you never know what you can do wrong. Like it's so hard to be a parent.
Yeah, it's
and
so difficult.
You can say something that like, can mean nothing to you, but it can like they can remember that for years to come, or like do things, not do things. And it's just like a lot. I don't think I have what it takes to be a parent, and I'm okay with that. I'm not like I'm not longing or wanting for it.
Right.
At the same time either, so kind of.
Same. Me too. I'm not really longing for it, and I'm okay if it doesn't happen. Maybe in the future will I want to, and I'll have better skills and better be able to. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'll have children. How do you feel like if you never got married? Do you think you could go through life like fulfilled without a guy?
Probably.
Or a significant other?
Probably, yeah.
Really?
I kind of feel like that's how it go for me. Like how it will go. Like I kind of feel like that way.
Like you'll just like
yeah
end up alone?
Yeah, so it's kind of like a reality that I guess I've like confronted before. Because
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I like think about those, like, not those things, but like just like things like that, like how life will go, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's just like I ruminate on the ideas, but yeah, I think I'd be okay. I mean, it's just more of the same.
Right.
Fucking day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I kind of just take it day by day.
Mm-hmm.
I think it will happen for me, I hope.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, it is time for your favorite segment,
Music of the week.
Music of the Week.
What songs you been listening to?
There's a lot of music. Listen, as I've been saying, like, I've been in my, like, Christmas era, like, November 1st hits, and, like, it'll pass. By next week, I'll be so over it. Like,
Christmas is over.
Yeah, I'm like, the music time is over. But last Christmas, Ariana Grande, Santa Baby, Taylor Swift. What else? Oh, Santa. Oh, Santa. So good. Have you heard that before? Mariah Carey, Ariana Grande.
I love Mariah Carey though.
Yeah, you gotta listen to it. Like, they do like a whistling, like you know how they do the whistle notes, but they do like a harmony at the end. It's so good. It's like one of my favorite Christmas songs. What else? Oh, I've also been listening to Pretty Girl by Rema. It's the same person who made Calm Down. Do you know Calm Down? Calm Down.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same person, so it's Rema and Ice Spice. So good. Listen, Ice Spice can put a track out and I'm listening at the end of the day. But this song is like so good. I literally have an I Heart Ice Spice shirt. Should I wear it for next episode?
Yeah.
That'll be so cute. Like me and Ice Spice.
I'll remind you.
What else have I been listening to? Big Girls Don't Cry. Fergie.
Don't cry.
How does it go? Big Girls.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
By Fergie. So good. How about your music?
I really haven't been finding a lot of new music lately. I've been listening to The Roof by Mariah Carey.
Never heard of it.
She's like kind of underrated, I feel like, in our generation.
See,
she has some goodies. Like you just gotta look. Like
I don't know. There's something about Mariah Carey that I don't like. I think it's because like I've seen interviews of her being really like egotistical about her music. Like she has bangers and she has the music industry for Christmas music down pat.
Did you see she just did that official commercial where she like defrosted?
What? No.
Yeah, like you know, like how everyone's like Mariah Carey's defrosting or whatever.
Oh, because she's aging?
No, because like Christmas is coming. Like
and then she did That's Funny.
Yeah.
See, that's iconic.
It's like it was like.
Okay, I'm back to being a Mariah stan.
Yeah, a lamb.
A lamb?
They're called lambs.
That's a shitty name. You need to recreate that.
I don't know why they're called lambs.
I think that's stupid.
I guess I'm a lamb. That I've been. You know that song. You gotta make your own kind of music.
That song is so good.
Yeah, that's a good one. I've been listening to that.
I'm ready to dance.
I think it's by Cass Elliot. I don't know. That a lot of older music as well.
Right, you love a good oldie.
Yeah. Janet Jackson.
You're missing a song that you've been listening to a lot.
What have I
recently.
been listening to a lot?
It's by one of your favorite singers.
I haven't been listening to much Ethel Cain. But,
Really?
so anyways,
It wasn't Ethel Cain. Why would you
Oh.
think I was talking about Ethel Cain?
because that's my favorite.
It has something to do with this region. Lippies. The Masked Singer?
Oh!
Wendy Williams.
Oh my god.
Like,
I've been
God,
obsessed.
you just forgot.
I
like-
know. I was like, what are you talking about?
I was giving you all the hints in the
I've
world.
been obsessed with Wendy Williams' cover on The Masked Singer when she was like when she was the lips of Native New Yorker. That is like that's been like fueling me through the day levels of like obsessed. Like
Really?
new hyperfixation.
That's like, yeah, no, I'm gonna start hyperfixating on that.
like,
too,
I'm about to like I just like ooh gets me grooving.
and in the song she goes, oh,
I
like
know.
that. Her like classic like
her classic
fucking-
little
That's so her.
like snort.
Snort, and then she's surprised by it, even though she's
Yeah,
done it maybe
she's
100
so
times.
iconic.
She's too iconic. Can we bring back the Wendy Williams show?
Yeah, bring back the Wendy Williams.
For sure, we're gonna need that. I'm gonna start streaming. What is it called?
What?
The song
Native New Yorker.
"Native New Yorker" by
Wendy Williams.
Wendy Williams.
Yeah.
That's like honestly.
Stream it up all.
What
Give
an
it a
icon.
revisit. If you've even seen it before, give it a revisit. Get those views up.
Yeah, she remember that
Support
one
her.
interview where she's like, I would ask you guys to respect my privacy, but I don't respect
Yeah.
anyone with my hot topics or something like that. What
Yeah.
an icon! Like she just knows it. So I'm like, honestly, I get it.
She's camp
I have like,
at the end of the day.
yeah, she is campy, but I will say like, music is such a big part of my life. Like when I have a dry music week,
It's really
it is detrimental to my
yeah,
mental
same.
health. I'm not kidding.
I just walk around everywhere.
Everywhere. I'm walking to class with my headphones in, like going from class to class with my headphones in. It's probably not good for like talking to people.
Yeah.
But like I love it. I go to the gym with my headphones in. Like
I have my headphones in so that I forget they're there. Like I forget they're in.
no,
there.
I have like the big AirPod
Oh.
Maxes, so they're kind of like heavy and chunky.
Yeah.
So I don't forget. But it's like honestly, when I used to have AirPods, I would literally forget that they're in and
Like,
fall asleep with them
I have
in
to
and
check. Yeah.
everything. Yeah, that's crazy. But like when I have a dry music week, bye. Don't talk to me.
Right.
Going MIA because
Right.
it's like the worst times of my life.
Like music is kind of the fuel. Like that gets me through.
Fuel, which is why we wanted to have this little segment because we just need to like tell you guys, we need to put you guys on to the things you don't
Put you guys
know.
on.
Do you have anything else you want to put them on to?
No, just Wendy Williams, Native New Yorker. Look it up.
And
Watch
Carrie,
it.
the movie.
Carrie?
I didn't finish watching it.
Oh, I love that movie. That's
yeah,
like
we
one of my
forgot to talk.
favorite-
Did we talk about that last week?
No. Did we? I don't
think
know.
so.
I love the movie Carrie. That's like one of my favorite movies ever.
And we didn't even talk about it in the Halloween episode.
I know. So
Like,
sad.
come on.
Love
We
that
gotta
movie.
fix that. But, well,
Well,
that is
that's another episode of
all
All
we
We
can
Can
say.
Say. And shit, bitch, that is all we can fucking say.
Yeah, we have nothing left to talk about.
No.
This is our last episode.
Yeah,
Congratulations, you made it to the end.
there you go.
No, I'm kidding, but we'll figure out what to say. Comment down below what you guys want to see from us. We have 0 comments on our page.
Love it. Just keep telling them. I mean, maybe they will.
Maybe let's start getting on that. Get on that. Do your homework and give us something to talk about.
Yeah.
What do you want to hear us talk about? Because we could go all day. We just need, give us topics.
just
give us things to talk
something.
about. And we were
We'll
going
do
to
research. Shit.
True.
We'll be journalists about it.
Right. We'll talk about hot topics. Is there anything going on in the news you guys want us to talk about?
Yeah.
Anything that you want to see? Deep conversations. This episode was a little bit different.
Yeah.
We weren't cracking jokes because we're not going to force it,
Yeah.
Like sometimes we're just feeling
Little black.
a little bleh or we're feeling like really
Just want to talk.
deep about some topics
Mhm.
and I feel like that's just going to be how it is. But I like that because sometimes you're not having a good day, you want to listen to something that's a little more deep, a little more
Yeah.
intriguing. Other days you just want to have a
we
lighthearted
just don't want
day.
to be fake. We want to be real.
Yeah, we just want to keep it real for you guys because honestly, at the end of the day, if we're like sitting here putting on an act that we're always happy, we're always doing great, we're cracking jokes every single
That's just
episode,
unrealistic.
it's unrealistic and it's not us and it will drain us.
Mhm.
So I hope you guys did enjoy this. Maybe you guys did. Maybe you like this better. Let us know down below. And we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.